So, going on a little field trip today. Got a little bit of a couple hours before our show here in Washington, D.C., and wanted to go to the museum, National Museum of Modern Art. And, after all, we do have a record called Museum coming out, and, or maybe it's out, depending on when this video is. But the thing is it's just always been a space for me that I've found so much life in. And I don't feel like I need to take anything from it. I just want to receive, and I love that. So let's go on.
We've been like this as long as stars. You're no stranger to this heart. Longer than life, you've been this close, and I think you always will.
Most people don't know this about me because it's not something I like talk about a ton. But when I was in high school, I was really into sculpture. Out of high school, I went to an art college in Savannah, and I did that for a while. And so I took lots of art history classes. And so I've always had this draw to the museum. I just like it because it's not a place for to sell anything. You're just going there to receive. And you could see something and love it, and you could see something and not. But no matter what, if you sit with it long enough, it's going to do something to you. And I like that it's a one-to-one. Somebody made it, and now it's on these walls for us to experience. And I think a lot about that with music. I mean, even to think about like Picasso, how he wasn't even necessarily really appreciated until a lot later. And that's how art is sometimes, you know. It's not necessarily always taken very serious until somebody comes around and appreciates it for what it is. It's really fans. I mean, that's what it is. It's fan of the art. Somebody who connects with it and has a story to tell about it. And like what's crazy is how people sit with our art. And that's kind of how the museum thing came about. Because like, let's create a space where people can experience all that we're making in a way that is an invitation for people to come and just sit with it without any agenda, to look at the paintings of each song, if you will, and ask themselves, what does this make me feel? Rather than us telling you what it means. You have your own story to tell with it, and then you'll share that with someone else, just like someone did with Picasso. For me, the way I've always approached writing a song, I'm not thinking about necessarily others. I'm thinking about my own experience. I'm writing for me. I just know what speaks to me, and what's been true is when I make something that speaks to me, when it speaks to me, it also speaks to other people, and that's what a museum is full of. It's full of pieces that spoke to that artist, and now it's speaking to people that come in, and they can't take it with them. They actually have to leave with the memory etched into their minds of the way it made them feel or the thing it made them think about. And that's what music is. Like, and you take the song with you, but as far as the experience, that's your own experience. It's etched into your mind. So maybe you had that song when you were going through something amazing or really hard, whatever it is, but that's your own experience, and you tell that story. And that's an amazing thing that we get to make these songs that underscore those parts of people's life. And that's what a museum is full of. It's art that underscores the experiences of people's lives. 2 years ago, we were at the museum in Nashville, and we took our kids there, and I started taking photos of my one son, Reggie, as he'd be like looking at a painting. And I was taking photos of the painting because I wanted to remember it. It was an artist I hadn't heard of. And I caught like a little clip of him, and I did that a couple times, and it was like, wait, Reggie, he's just going with me, and I kept getting the top of his head. And then I went back to it a few months later. I was like, man, I think we should use these as inspiration. Like, here's this head that you can't really see, that's kind of like cropped out, looking up at a painting or at something. I wanted that to become sort of the basis for the artwork. And that's what a lot of the EP artwork was sort of less specific to Reg, but more this idea of like, he's looking at this world, he's experiencing this art in a way that's really fascinating to him. And it's an experience that only he's having. It's a great picture of what it is for someone that's listening to our music. They're having their own journey through the song, whether they like it or not. I never even asked him if he liked the the paintings he was looking at. Maybe he hated them, but I think what pushes me to keep making things is knowing that it may not be received immediately. Like someone might see a certain like sculpture, you know, or see a painting and was like, I don't know what to think about that. But maybe later on they come back to it and realize like, wow, this is deeper than I realized. And it's not because the art was necessarily deep. It's because it hit a deep place within them that they weren't expecting. I think it's inspired other people too, and that's what you hope. You hope you make something that inspires other people to make as well. You know, we've put some videos out of the cube that's talking, that we call us. That's a picture that Reggie drew that same day that I took those photos of him of us at the museum. What's crazy is he drew this picture. It was a screen print at the museum, and I just like sat with it and I put it on my desk and I looked at it the whole time we made the record. What I love about it is that for some people, they might look at it and be like, oh, that's weird, or I don't get it. And I like that response, because I think that's what art is meant to do. It's meant to elicit some sort of response that sometimes isn't always it's favorable to the artist, but at least it provokes something. And for me, it kept provoking this feeling of exhilaration. In fact, we even thought about calling this record, that was the original title of the record, was Exhilaration, that we sort of had a pet name for it. What was clear as time went on was that it was going to be called Museum, because it was just a collection in space for all the different things that we were making that at the time didn't feel very cohesive, but they came together in a sweet way. And Reggie's screen print that he made, I looked at all the time and I'd smile at, and it just reminded me, don't overthink. Just make the thing that you're feeling right now and follow that feeling. And that's what we did the whole record, like a kid.
You're more than I believe in. Uncomplicated feeling. You fell for my heart, and I think you always will. I think you always. I think you always.
Something like that.
I love that.